Hi, everyone. We're so excited to be here. Wanted to introduce myself. My name is Lizzie Hale, and I'm the Senior Manager of Content at TikTok. So excited to get to talk about leveling up our content strategy on TikTok. And so I have a great set of creators here who are going to give some amazing advice about what this really means. So with further ado, I'm going to have some amazing creators come and join us. Ben, why don't you start and introduce yourself and some of the content that you make?
Alrighty. Hello everyone. My name is Ben, aka Ben of the Week on TikTok. I've been doing TikTok for about like a year and a half now. I started like way back when it was just like a little baby, in like late 2018. And I started doing TikTok because I love just like making fun little random videos to like send to friends. And my friends were like, "Hey, why don't you post that to TikTok?" And I was like, "What's TikTok?" And I like found it super cool how like if you have a talent or like something funny to say or pretty much anything interesting, it's just a great platform to put content out and kind of get it spread around. So that's why I joined TikTok.
Michaela, what tell us a little bit about yourself and the content that you make.
Hi, I'm Michaela. You might know me as Michaela Did on TikTok. I joined TikTok in November of last year, 2019, and I make fun videos, but I also do makeup videos and I also sing. So I kind of do a little bit of everything. And just like Ben said, I think it's a really great platform to be yourself and be fun. And that's definitely why I joined, to have fun and be funny and kind of connect with other people in the world that are like me.
Amazing. Then next we have Illusion.
How's everyone doing? My name is Lusion. People know me as, or I go by Lusion Music. I started TikTok almost exactly a year ago, and it's changed my life ever since. I primarily do remixes, and that's how people kind of know me, and they know my sound throughout the app. And yeah, it's been an unbelievable journey. It's spread all the way through, YouTube and Spotify and everything like that, and through the amazing help of my wife, who is like 50-50 with me on this with TikTok. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have been able to like understand this app. She was on it like all the time, like telling me which songs were trending and stuff like that. And so that helped a lot keep like the consistency up. And yeah, it worked out. It's been going good.
And then finally we have Chriselle Lim.
Hi everyone, I'm Cassell. First of all, I just want to point out that I am definitely kind of the oddball without the background. I just had some tech issues. But with that said, I'm really excited to be here. I am Cassell Lim on TikTok, but most people know me on TikTok as Your Rich Mom. I started TikTok November of last year, and it just kind of grew like I don't like to say overnight, but it kind of did. I was really skeptical joining at first because I'm a lot older than the kind of demographic there, and I was definitely a little hesitant. But I found kind of my groove there, my niche there, and it's just been really awesome because I've been able to showcase my entire life from my families. I do a lot of family lifestyle content to fashion and beauty, which is like the main core content that I have. But it's a little bit of everything, and I'm just having a lot of fun there.
Great. So excited for all four of you to be here. I think you all make really different types of content, which I think is what's really exciting. Let's start first with a bit of your journey on TikTok. You want to share maybe what your first video was on TikTok and then the last one you made? So it's really showing off the evolution of the content that you've been making. Maybe Ben, do you want to go first?
Yeah, for sure. My first video was when I was working at this seafood restaurant and they had this big old shrimp costume that I stole and I just went in it and I did a dance in this like giant shrimp costume. And that was my first video on TikTok. But since then I've kind of like I guess evolved my content and now I do kind of like skits and I put a lot more effort than stealing a shrimp costume and doing a little dance in 2 seconds.
Michaela, what about you?
My first video was a makeup transition video. And, I was playing bass, and then it's thoughts go away. All of that. I was so excited. Oh my God, I can't wait. And it did okay. But then I started getting into making funny videos, and that turned out much better for me. And then I started seeing makeup artists like Abby Artistry, and I was like, okay, I want to try that a little bit. So then I started doing that, and now I'm making videos of me talking in the car. So that's my
you do a lot of story time content, right?
I do. I have a lot of stories to tell.
What, for people who maybe are not familiar with what story time content is, can you describe that a little bit for people?
Yeah, story time content is literally that. So I'm telling a story about an event or a time, and like for instance, my last story time was about a boy that I liked in pre-kindergarten, and some girl came and took him from me. So that was my story time, but people seem to enjoy it. So I will continue to tell my little stories if they want to.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Chriselle, I know you've had quite a journey of how your TikTok has evolved. You want to share that with the audience?
Yeah. So I started off not knowing what to do on the app. So I was like, I'm just going to do what everyone else does. Everyone's talking about these trends. So my first video was one of the trends that was happening during that time. I think it was it was like a Charlie's Angel, like transition video. And so I was just not confident there. So I would just always had to hop on the trend. And that's all I knew about TikTok. But since then, it's really evolved to kind of this persona that my TikTok audience has created for me, which is your rich mom. And the backstory, long story short, is that, this audience didn't know who I was, but they saw me going to fashion shows and Paris Fashion Week. And these kids were like, who is this rich mom? Like, who is she? And that's when Parasite was blowing up, the movie. And they're like, she looks exactly like the rich mom from Parasite. So no one knew who I was. So they wouldn't call me by my name, Chriselle, but they would be like, hey, rich mom, can I go to Paris with you? And I would just play along with them. I'll be like, yeah, I'll buy you a ticket. Come with me next week. And my TikTok audience kind of created this persona for me. So it's half really me, but not really me. It's a little bit of acting. So I'm just having a lot of fun with it.
Lucia, do you want to share a little bit of your journey on TikTok?
Yeah, absolutely. So quick backstory, I try to keep it short. I've had a YouTube channel since the beginning of 2018, and I thought that was going to be the route I was going to take. I wanted to make, music making tutorials and stuff like that. And fast forward a year and a half later, it took me that long to gain just shy of 1,000 subscribers, which again, I was extremely proud of. And then my sister-in-law, she was on TikTok, and she was doing just these craft videos, and they were doing really well. And I was just like, this is crazy. And so I was like, okay, it's music oriented and stuff. And so on June 10th, 2019 is when I posted my first TikTok. I didn't pay attention to any trends. I didn't see anything. I literally just opened it up and just did my own thing. And it was when Sucker by Jonas Brothers was really popular. And I'm sorry. And the backstory to that is through that year and a half on my YouTube, I was already making all these remixes of popular songs, turning really aggressive rap songs into really calm, chill, lo-fi remixes. And so I already had 15 or 20 already ready. So when I posted the Jonas Brothers remix as my first TikTok video, it blew up. But to me, blew up at that time was 1,000 likes. And I was like, oh, this is amazing, right? And luckily I had all those remixes ready. So for the next 2 weeks after that, it was a video once or twice a day. And so within under 2 weeks, I gained 100,000 followers, and it's literally been riding out ever since. And I mean, you said, what was my last video? I mean, last night I posted another video of another remix. I've been doing the exact same thing, a little bit different video strategy, but it still works a year later.
Wow. That's really, I think that's part of the magic of TikTok, is that you can join, and then in a few weeks, if you are being yourself, you can get thousands and thousands of followers. Let's talk about a little bit about what kind of content are you all seeing on TikTok? I think as TikTok has evolved, I think the content that we're seeing has evolved. What sort of content categories and things have you seen that have really inspired you recently?
I guess I'll go first because when I joined TikTok, which was not even that long ago, it was in November, so maybe half a year ago, and there was barely any fashion creators on there. There were a handful. So my For You page was barely any fashion content, which was fine because I felt like I was learning a lot of other things and discovering other people. But then now when I go onto TikTok, I'm seeing all these designers and all these, kind of fashion people that are coming from the traditional side, jumping on over to TikTok. And that's been really inspiring to see, just to see how they're adapting it to kind of more of the traditional industry, fashion and beauty. So I've been really inspired by just kind of seeing fashion come into TikTok and finding its kind of roots there.
Well, how would you say fashion content on TikTok is different from maybe other platforms?
It's very different. I feel like TikTok is really personality and story driven. So if you're able to really create a dynamic, like let's say if you wanted to talk about a product, I mean, on Instagram, you would probably just show a beautiful product and describe it, right? Whereas with TikTok, you're able to tell the backstory of how it came about, and you're able to appreciate a product so much more. Like, for instance, I don't even know what their names are because they just always end up on my For You page. But these small designers, like indie designers, are showing like how to make, like how the process is to get to their final results, like their clay earrings. And you see the earrings, you're like, oh, they're cool. But then when you when they show you how the process is of actually molding it, and then like putting it in the fire and then like sculpting it, you're like, wow, this is amazing. This is art. Like I want one now. So I think the ability to be able to put an emotional story behind it has been really great for the fashion industry.
Great. Lucian, it looked like you had it. You wanted to share some of the content you've seen growing on TikTok.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible how, take like dancing, for example. I mean, that has like stayed the primary main popular category and stuff like that. But it's also very interesting how, take dancing, for example, it's just a big umbrella. And then there's all these like different styles of dance videos, or, you know what I'm saying? Or people can, it's just very universal. And I find that very fascinating. And for myself, like, it's funny. I've been trying, even though I've been doing this for a year, and yeah, like I've been able to create trends based off my sounds, but I'm still trying to like get, hit the nail where I'm able to like make a song and it makes a completely new like dance trend for everyone to dance to. Like I'm still, aiming towards that. So that would be really cool. But I love that is still just like the primary focus on TikTok. I think it just like balances everything out. But aside from like the main popular things like that, as well as fashion and beauty and all that type of stuff, I think it's funny that in the past few months, there's been all these like sides of TikTok, like your algorithm and can be filled up. Like right now I'm on frog TikTok, like, frog videos and stuff. And like, I love stuff like that. So yeah, I just find it interesting that, it is changing pretty frequently, especially throughout this whole year. But yeah.
What does frog TikTok look like for people who have not seen frog content before?
I see videos of little frogs just like all over the place. Sometimes like frogs dressed up. I don't know why. My algorithm loves frogs, and I'm with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think again, this is like a testament to the fact that like there is such a wide variety, and that when you're thinking about what content to make on TikTok, I think now you've told this entire audience that like you can make frog videos and there's an audience for that on TikTok.
Amazing. I love it.
Ben or Michaela, is there any content category you've seen really grow and evolve over time?
Yes, manifestation videos, and it's because it's on my For You page, because I like them all and I claim this in all of the comments. So that's definitely a big thing now, and I really enjoy it. And also astrology videos. I'm into all of that. So it's definitely grown. It's like a big thing to do. So I'm
For
watching.
people who haven't seen some of these manifestation or astrology videos, what do those look like on TikTok?
They look like they'll have some pretty music and they'll say, oh, if this is on your For You page, your manifestation is gonna come true. And then it says, type I claim this in the comments, and then it says like, follow, like all this stuff. But it's like, think about your manifestation, and I do it every time. It's probably not changing anything, but I'm like, yes, I'm manifesting this, and I claim it, and there's like 6 more videos under it. I have to do it. I feel like if I miss one, it's not gonna come true.
Ben, what about you? What have you seen? What sort of content categories have you seen grow in the last few months?
Yeah, well, just like Illusion said, like the frog TikTok, like where did that come from? Like I feel like it's just like the TikTok has like the beating heart of like Gen Z humor, like in the palm of his hand. Like you will find no other place that has like the best, like just like weirdest videos and sides to the app. Like it's chef's kiss.
Yeah. And if I can add to that, I think it is fascinating that I've noticed that in the past few months, TikTok has now really been centered for like inside jokes, and you really have to like be on the app, like watching tons of videos for hours to really understand these certain trends or sides of TikTok or inside jokes. And I think by doing that, I mean, that just triples engagement for viewers, for content creators, for TikTok itself. So I think the whole inside joke or Gen Z humor and all that, it really helps.
Yeah, Christelle, I saw you nodding your head. Do you have anything to sort of add on that?
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking because, I originally started with a blog 10 years ago and on YouTube, and now my biggest platform is TikTok now, but Instagram was where it was at for me just like a few months ago. And I get so excited about my TikTok videos. A lot of it has to do with Gen Z humor. And I would post it on my Instagram, and my Instagram followers are just like, I don't get this. And that's when I realized that, what TikTok has that no other app has is such a engaged community, because it's almost like, it's not a secret, but it's almost like these jokes and these like things that the TikTok community knows, and we just like get each other, and we don't have to explain it. Whereas like on another platform, I have to like explain why it's funny, and then all of a sudden it doesn't become funny anymore. So yeah, and it's also for me. I mean, I'm 35. I'm definitely not. I could be the mom of the Gen. I am the mom of the Gen Z generation, and I think that's why people call me mom on the app. But it's also on another note. It's definitely kind of re-inspired my content, because I've been a content creator for the longest time. It's just re-inspired me to think about my content in a different way.
Yeah, bouncing off of that, with seeing these different types of categories and subgenres grow on TikTok, how does that affect your content strategy on TikTok? Are you inspired to try different types of content? Does it affect you in any way when you're thinking about your overall strategy?
Yeah, it does. For me, I always have an open ear, open eyes, and I'm always trying to adapt to new trends and new content, new ideas. But at the end of the day, I think you have to have your core. Like, it's important to try different things on TikTok, but you have to have your core, and like you have to know what resonates with you and what you feel good about. So I wouldn't, like, for me, it's always like 70-30, like 70% of my content is like what I usually do, even without any trends out there. And 30% of that is trend driven and what I see other people doing.
Yeah. Ben, I saw you nodding. How are you inspired by some of the trends or the subgenres that you see on TikTok, and how does that affect your content strategy?
It's definitely like whenever I like kind of can't like don't have a good idea for a video, like for a skit, I might like see a funny like kind of trend or meme that's like going through like my For You page, and I'll try and like adapt it into like a bigger skit and try and add like my spin or like my flair to that video. And it's just like such a good resource for like always getting like inspiration to do like something else. So it's like it's unlike any other platform where like you might kind of like lose inspiration. Like there's always something funny, something new, some new trend that you can kind of adapt.
Yeah. What was the last video that inspired you to make a video yourself?
I want to say, oh my gosh, it was literally a video. It was like a Subway Surfer video, which is like weirdly making a comeback. It's this app that everyone played when they were 12, and people are just adding the most cursed audios over top of it, and it is the funniest thing ever. And I tried making a video where I was like the Subway Surfer, and then it didn't work. So that's staying in the drafts, but it was worth a try.
It's always worth a try. Yeah, Lucian, what about you? What was the last video that inspired you that you saw?
I don't know if I have certain videos that really inspire me, but kind of just going back to how you started this question, it's like for me, like trends are extremely essential to me because I've seen it. If I remix a song that's currently not trending or something like that, it will do like terribly bad numbers compared to if it is a trending song, right? So that to me, trends are extremely important, and I need to make sure that and also the scary part with TikTok, really with anything with meme culture or anything like that, I mean, trends can die literally within like a few days. Like trends can be the biggest thing and then die 3 days later. So you really got to be like quick on it. But yeah, they're extremely essential to what I do since I'm remixing trending songs and, majority of stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah. So Lucian, you take trends and you make them your own by remixing them. Michaela or maybe Chriselle, how do you take trends and what do you do when you jump on a trend? How do you make it feel unique to your sort of creator POV?
Well, for me, when I see a trend or something going on my For You page, I immediately think, how does this resonate with my life? Because something in my life is probably going to resonate with somebody else. So I think about, how does this connect to my life, or how do I make it so that it connects to my life? And sometimes I have no connection. So let me not even force it. But usually I can think of something and I'm like, okay, she's talking about this, I can talk about that. We have 2 separate videos, same trend, we're all good. So I just try to pick parts of my life to use the sound or the trend for, and it turns out pretty good.
Yeah, Chriselle, any thoughts about advice on how you can take a trend and make it feel unique to your identity?
Yeah, I think what I've learned from trends is that, especially within fashion and beauty, you want to do something a little bit unexpected with the trend, because the thing is, like, once a trend takes off and like everyone is doing the same thing, what I've noticed is that if you catch it on a little bit later, it doesn't get, for me personally, it doesn't get as many views because everyone already knows what to expect. Like if it's a transition video, it's like you're going to transition into a glamorous outfit from like a sloppy outfit. Like it's too obvious. So when it comes to trends, I try to put a little bit more thought into it. Like take that extra step further of like, okay, what would they not expect from this? And that's when the trends actually take off for me. So I think it's important to adapt them, but also put your own spin to it.
Yeah, I think this really leads into another subject that I really wanted to discuss with everybody is like, how does your identity fit into your content strategy on TikTok? How do you express your identity? I think through trends is a really great way, but how else does your own personal identity come into your content strategy? Michaela, I saw you smiling.
I always wait. I don't want to like talk over anybody.
No, yeah.
For me, I'm very honest yet very private. So I talk about things that are happening in my life without saying anything at all. And I try to make it funny, so it's general. It literally could be about somebody else, or it could be about me. You never know. So and you also never know what you're going to get from my page. I could really be cute one day, and the next day my phone is in the refrigerator and I'm recording myself. So it's very unexpected. You're not going to really know, but that's who I am. I'm a whole bunch of stuff just
You're unexpecting.
In a body. Yeah.
Ben, how does your identity fit into your TikTok content strategy?
I definitely just like enjoy channeling like this inner like chaos that I have in my brain and like putting it in my videos and like making them like super chaotic and really just all over the place, but in like a fun way that makes sense in a TikTok video. So and people like that's like one of the biggest comments, like they're like, what goes inside his brain? Or like what goes on inside his brain? So just like to keep people guessing.
Yeah, so like you're really expressing sort of this creative mind into your TikTok videos.
Yeah.
Lucian, how does your identity impact your content?
Well, I think two essential pieces, like the main one is my branding, how I do it. Like for anyone who hasn't seen one of my videos, like at the end of all my videos and I show what I made musically, I have like the same gray turtleneck beanie and glasses that like I'm known for. And so like that's obviously how I express my identity, just through that physical look. But aside from that, including my wife Six and like our two dogs in a lot of our videos, to really kind of just kind of like what Michaela said, like I'm personal with it, but I'm not like, I'm also pretty reserved with our life, kind of private. So being able to express my videos through them helps a lot, because that really is like my life, and I'm not like hiding anything. I'm not trying to, present like this fake self of myself on TikTok or anything like that.
Chriselle, what about you?
Yeah, I put a lot out there about myself. I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of these kids, they like following me, because I give a lot of life advice. So I talk about my experience being bullied as an Asian American growing up in a all-white high school. I talk about kind of my struggles with that, of my own identity and how I overcame it. And I think a lot of my followers really appreciate that. I also talk about how it's hard being a mom, and but also I love it. So I'm very just honest about, how I'm able to do so much, but also what I have to sacrifice. And I think through just like my storytelling, I'm able to share kind of my life experiences and stories, and just express my identity through that.
Yeah, how does it feel to really put yourself out there through TikTok? Has that impacted you in any way?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of used to it because I've been doing it for over 10 years now, just on different platforms. But I think with TikTok, it's been strangely encouraging, because I'm so used to on like bullying, because I was also younger when I started on YouTube, and I was so used to getting bullied and like getting negative comments when I was younger, and it would affect me very much. But on TikTok, I feel like because I have this kind of persona as a loving mom that loves all of her TikTok kids, all the comments, like I barely get any negative comments. Like the community is so welcoming, and they just want to hear kind of what I have to say. So it's been great just putting my life out there on TikTok.
That's great to hear. I think that just from watching your videos, I feel like you put so much of your own energy. I feel like you through your videos. That's probably why you get so much positive comments.
Yeah, thank you.
So thinking about the title of this panel is Leveling Up Your Content Strategy. What is one piece of advice you would give to someone who is trying to level up their content strategy on TikTok? Maybe Michaela, if you want to go first.
I would say definitely be authentic. People can see it through the screen. So if it's not you, if it's scripted, if it's fake, we'll know. And also though, like for your own personal self, don't take it so seriously, meaning at the end of the day, some things are going to hit and some things are going to miss. You'll be okay. You can continue to make videos. Like, don't let the numbers determine how good you are or what you're supposed to be doing on the app. Like on the panel, I have the least amount of followers. I don't care. I'm here. Like, so don't for your own personal sake, don't let the app like run your life. Just have fun, because everybody can see it. Like you want to go and you want to find people that are good energy, that are fun, that you want to. TikTok is an escape. So like when I go on the app, I don't want to be like, oh no, they having a meltdown. No, I want to go on there and be like, this is funny. This song is good. Oh, look at that dance, you know? So be authentic, be positive, and don't take it too seriously. That's my advice.
Yeah, Ben, I saw you nodding along to that. What would you be, what's your advice for leveling up your content strategy on TikTok?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Like, I remember I was like kind of getting myself into a rut of like really not like I started like because TikTok can be so fast paced sometimes, and if you try and like follow every single trend and you're always like just on a like go 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 kind of like mindset, you kind of have to take a step back and realize and like kind of like think of like what are your best like strong suits when you're like making TikToks. And just kind of figure out all the things that you're best at. And like I kind of took like a little like 3-day break, and then I came back and like started making a new type of content, and then everyone really started liking it. Like all the people who were like commenting before saying like, oh, like we missed the all event of the week, I like kind of won them back, I guess, and like started making better content. So basically just like yeah, like Michaela said, like it's really important to take breaks sometimes, especially if you're feeling like a little bit burnt out. There's TikTok's always going to be there tomorrow to like post a new video. You don't need to like worry about spikes in numbers or anything. As long as you like know your brand and the kind of videos you make, like no one can tell you otherwise.
What was the difference in the type of content you made when you came back?
I started making kind of more original content because before I like really rely on like just trends. And then I realized that like people kind of like when I do like story times, but like kind of like scripted, like fun, like skit story times. So I kind of brought back those more. I really like worked out a schedule for like making it so that I wasn't like too stressed out or like filming stuff last minute. And that really helped me like through the whole content process.
Yeah, I think that that's one of the things people sometimes don't know about TikTok is the trends are amazing and they're really helpful to inspire you, but like you can make original content and that will get just as much traction. Uh,
Yeah.
Lucian, what's your advice for how to level up on TikTok?
I think, oh, well, first off, I think what both you guys were saying was very true. And because, you know, when it comes to numbers, they can really, you know, mess with you mentally a lot. But yeah, you really can't let that get to you, you know, but when you first start out, you know, I'm just kind of talking based off my own experience, but I really do think it helps. Like if you really want to start and you want to gain a following on TikTok and you're really like determined for that, I think it's extremely important to like, you know, really have ideas in your head already, have them written down or something. So that way, if one does pop off, boom, you got more and more. And you can just, I think consistency is so important, especially on this app. You know, I mean, that's what I did, you know, for the past year, which is constantly, you know, constant uploads, even though, yeah, like Ben was saying and everyone, like it's extremely important to take breaks and everything like that, you know. But as far as just, you know, being consistent as well, I think the second biggest thing is like, try to do something unique or different in each video. Like do like the same one little thing. It can be as little as just saying one certain word at the end or at the beginning of a video or something, just so people can always like recognize that, you know. Or like how for me, it was like the glasses and the beanie and that whole thing, you know, like that was like people could recognize instantly, you know, rather than, because it's extremely easy to be camouflaged with everyone, especially if you just have like one video that pops off and then you gain all these followers and then your content doesn't line up with that blown up video. And then people are kind of like, okay, like, you know, on to the next person. So I think it's really important to kind of stand out in that way.
Yeah, I think that is a perfect segue to Chriselle with the idea of having consistency with the rich mom persona. What's some other of your level ups strategy that you would give to new creators?
Yeah, I think it's really important to, you know, like everyone said, like put your own spin, but, you know, yeah, play with the trends, but find kind of like something that is special to you. For me, it's the rich mom persona, and I really just play that up and just really going in deep. I think you just have to commit to, you don't have to commit to one thing, because I like doing a lot of things. Like you'll see a little bit of everything, but I would say a lot of my content is like really digging in deep into this rich mom persona. And I think they kind of like consistency too. They like to know what to expect when they go onto your page, but with a little bit of a spin. So I think it has to be a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's a combination of like consistency, but surprising people maybe with what your next video might be. When thinking about joining the platform, are there any content categories that you would recommend people to start creating or playing with that they may not expect that they could do on TikTok?
I'd say if you've got like a really good fashion sense and you really like have some good fits, show them off. Like I get so many like really cool kind of like videos of people just like really expressing themselves with like how they dress. It's like made me go out and buy some outfits and like go thrifting. Like I see so many cool like kind of just like really sick fit videos. Like there's this guy named Wisdom who he'll do like little outfit challenges. Like he'll be like the evolution of like Tyler Creator's like fits. Like, oh my gosh, his videos are so good. And
What
yeah,
makes
I
his
feel like
video-
that's a
I was gonna say, what makes his video so good?
just like, well, he's just so versatile with how he can like come up with these different outfits. But overall, like I feel like that's a really like good way to like a little good like beginner category to like join TikTok with. Like because I feel like everyone like definitely has some sense of style that they can show off.
Yeah. Alicia, I see you nodding your head. What content category would you recommend that people could try that they may not know they can make on TikTok?
Yeah, I mean, what Ben was saying was, extremely valid. Like when it comes to, it can be fashion, it can be photography, it can be so many different things. But aside from that, I think it's extremely important to highlight that TikTok, when it comes to that app, I mean, it's truly like no holds barred. Like you literally can do almost any type of content that you want, and there's going to be a niche collective out there that's going to appreciate that content as long as it follows up with being consistent and being unique about it and stuff like that, And of course, yes, there are popular stuff to be, trending on, whether it's dancing or fashion. But at the same time, when you're in those big categories, it might be, easier to kind of be camouflaged in there, So when you really are doing whatever you want to do and you're good at it and you can make it work, it's going to work out, Like, again, like when I first started, I don't think anyone was making any type of music creation videos at that time, but that's exactly what I wanted. And, and that's how it happened.
Yeah. Michaela, I see you nodding.
I mean, I totally agree, but I was also gonna say, if you can get a good sound in, you're good, because they don't necessarily have to like the video, but they're gonna use your sound. Like, I don't know if you know, but I'm the girl, don't do it. It's not worth it. That's me.
Michaela.
You're right when you do that.
You need
Oh
to
my
own
gosh.
that.
But that's me. But see, nobody knows that, but you hear my voice. And so at the end of the day, they have to click on it to get to your page.
Dang, that's smart.
Yeah, that's me.
For people who don't know that sound, Michaela, can you tell us how you made that first video?
I was at like rock bottom. I could not think of any videos to make. I was sad. I was like, I'm losing my spark. Like, what am I doing? And I made a video and it was about a sugar daddy. And I was like, girl, don't do it. It's not worth it. And then I come back in and I'm like, I did it. And so I posted it, and the traction, it was not doing well. So I took it off of my page, but somebody clearly saved the sound. So months later, I'm hearing my voice and I'm like, why are people using this? And they're like, where's the original? I'm like, I took it down. But it did its own thing. And so like people will come on my video and they're like, are you the I did it girl? And I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Michaela, what was your reaction when someone made that version where it was like, I was just thinking about it. Yeah, I thought that was so funny. That
I was like, is this me? Like, yeah. It's new. Every time I hear myself, it's new. And then my cousins will be like, is this you? And I'm like, that's me. Like, you know what I sound like. But yeah, it's pretty cool though.
So we're almost out of time, but want to leave maybe one last final piece of advice, something that's super tangible that you can really take, that everybody who's on this call can like take and start doing with their videos. Chriselle, what's like one tip you wish you knew when you started?
Just don't overthink it. Like whatever first comes to your head, just do it. That's usually the best ideas, at least for me.
Lucian, what's your one final take to level up your strategy?
I think have faith in what you're doing and what you're about to do. Be confident with it and be the best at it. That's the best way to go about it.
Ben, any tools or tricks you can tell people about that they may not know?
I'd say just the best trick is to not compare yourself to others, because it's really easy to see someone else's like success and like try and like compare it to yourself and then think, oh, like why am I not doing as well? And that's just like such a toxic mindset to be in. Like you have to realize that you have like your own talents, you're in your own complete lane. Like just keep going and you'll be good.
Michaela, what's your final tool to give to the crowd?
My final tool is to be authentic, be yourself, and have fun.
Amazing. Well, thank you all so much for joining this panel. I hope that we gave some great tangible advice for this crowd of how to level up their strategy. You all have been so amazing. Excited for everyone to start making some next level TikToks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.